So, hello everyone. My name is Cyril Herben. I'm one of the founder and actual director of Body Belgium. Today I will explain you the links that we have in Belgium between the tobacco and the cannabis industry. So let's first start by a quick agenda of the session. I will firstly start by introducing Body Belgium. What do we do, who we are, and why am I talking today in a cannabis event about the tobacco industry. Afterwards, we will have a look at the Belgian market and we will see the different stages, the three different stages Belgium went through with regards to the commercialization and the legislation regarding dry hemp flowers. And knowing these three different stages, we will have a look at the French market and compare it with the actual Belgian market. And we will finish with a quick outlook at the end consumer by understanding how today the end consumer has been affected by this new legislation. And of course, we will have a quick conclusion. So who is Body? I will be really short here. If anyone have a question on Body Belgium, please come after me afterwards. So Body Belgium is a company specialized into the CBD industry. We do mainly manufacture and distribute dry hemp flower for the EU market. Since 2019, and I will explain it afterwards, we are considered as a tobacco manufacturers from the Belgian government. I do not sell tobacco, I do not manufacture tobacco, but today Belgians say that dry hemp flower are the same product as a tobacco. We distribute our brand, dry hemp flowers, to a network of around 20,000 shops in Europe. 15,000 are in France. Some of our products are sold as a smoking or a tobacco product. Others are sold as a non-consumable product, and we will understand this just after. So let's have a look at the Belgian market. Why the Belgian market? Because the Belgian market went in 3 years in 3 different stages that we can find in the whole Europe today. And it all started in 2018 when the first CBD shop opened in Belgium. It was beginning of 2018. It was a French franchise opening in the center of Brussels. And soon, by the end of 2018, 200 shops opened in Belgium. Those shops were positioned either as well-being shops selling CBD oil, CBD cream, CBD flowers or hemp flower, whatever the name. Others were positioned as a legal coffee shop selling flower, a bit like in the Netherlands, but legally speaking and without any THC. The flower at that moment were representing more than 60% of the sales of CBD shop. So people used to go there firstly for the flower, after for the oil. The flower were mainly sold as a bulk in front of the end consumer. Flowers were available on internet, but there was no clear framework for the commercialization of dry hemp flower. Some of the people were selling dry hemp flower as a non-consumable product, or in other words, as a potpourri, as they say in France, which means a product that you put in your toilet so it smells good. At 10 to 15 euro a gram, it's pretty expensive for this product. So I don't really believe many people use that product for that use. Others were using it as a tea, but in Belgium it was a bit of a mess. Some companies were using 6% of VAT, others 21% of VAT. And regarding the authorities, they had a very bad views on this industry. Health Ministry was only controlling if the product were sold as a consumable product, because the oil in Belgium cannot be consumed. Flower cannot be used as a tea, as in France, for instance. So CBD is definitely non-consumable in Belgium. And that was the only point the Health Ministry was controlling at that time. From a custom point of view, 2018 products were not most of the time at 0.2% of THC, so they were not really legal in Belgium. Custom clearance was not really done because most of the products were coming from Switzerland, and Switzerland is out of the EU. So the communication with the custom was very bad, if not existent. And finally, police was even more lost than the 2 other authorities. They didn't know this new molecule that was CBD. Is CBD an oil or is CBD a cannabinoid? This is a question I got many times from the police. This industry was thriving, the margins were really good, a lot of shops were opening, and in the beginning of 2019, Belgium stated that dry hemp flower are a herbal product for smoking. So an herbal product for smoking is a product that comes from a fruit, herbs, or plant that contain no nicotine and that can be used through a combustion process. So it was the first time that we could sell flower to a client saying, you can smoke it. Before that, it was, please put it on your toilet, it will smell good afterwards. And this new legislation brought many rules that were hidden behind it, and the first of them was packaged only. Since it's a tobacco product, not yet taxed as a tobacco, but considered as a tobacco, sales as a bulk were forbidden. I don't think we can find today in Europe a shop where you can buy tobacco and ask for him 200 grams, 500 grams, and they prepare it in front of you. It doesn't exist anymore. Tobacco has to be packed. So this is the first rule, so shops couldn't sell as a bulk anymore. Bulk was still accepted for B2B only, not for B2C. On the same time, promotion of tobacco is strictly forbidden, which means that the communication regarding dry hemp flowers was very limited at that time. We couldn't say the amount of THC of CBD because the end consumer could think that our product is more concentrated or a better product than another one. I couldn't say the way of production. I couldn't say the origin. I cannot say it comes from Switzerland, Italy, or whatever, because those information can be interpreted as promotion of a tobacco product. So the consumer started to lose a lot of information. The only thing he could find was at the end the price and the weight. All the rest of the information started disappearing in the industry. But on the same time, e-commerce was still accepted. And this is a subtlety because most of the tobacco product, you cannot buy it on internet. Herbal product for smoking can still be sold through internet, so CBD flowers were still sold through web shop. And on the same time, there was a clarification of the VAT, the taxation of the product, so finally everyone was using the same taxation in Belgium. On the same time, we have what we call it a registration of EUCG, is a EU Commission platform for smoking products. All of our products have to be registered through this platform. It's a long administrative process. It's not a complex, but some actors don't want to make it. And finally, regarding the communication, one thing changed is the communication with health ministry. They knew that this was a herbal product for smoking, that the product has to be registered and couldn't be sold as a bulk. And those were the only point they were controlling, but at least they knew what they have to control. On the side, custom and police was still the same situation. A product was sold and sent from Switzerland without a clear custom process. Police was not really aware of the situation. What is CBD? How can it be sold? It was still a new industry starting. And a few months later, because here we are only beginning of 2019, so it's 1 year after the first shop in Belgium, the 11th of April 2019, an earthquake started in Belgium. Belgium says dry hemp flowers are an herbal product for smoking, but they are taxed as another tobacco product. Other tobacco product is tobacco pipe. And the tobacco taxation is something quite difficult. It's high and it brings other stuff such as fiscal warehouse. So since the 11th of April 2019, it's still package only, but e-commerce forbidden. So all web shop has to close. Of course, there was still web shops selling from other countries of Europe because it's very difficult to control all of this. But most of the Belgian websites started to close. With regards to the taxation, we don't have 21% of taxes anymore. We have 21% of VAT plus an excise duty, which leads us to approximately 50% of tax. 50% of tax that have to be paid upfront when you order the fiscal stamp, which means today, I want to sell 1 kilo of product at 10 euro a gram. I will have 50% of tax. I will have first to pay 5,000 euro to the States to order my small fiscal stamp before being able to put them into commercialization. More than this, it required what is called a fiscal warehouse or a binding warehouse, depending on how we call it, and this leads to caution. So what is a binding or fiscal warehouse? Is a warehouse that is accredited to work with either tobacco or alcohol or energies. I will not talk about alcohol, I will not talk about energy, we will only stay into the tobacco. This fiscal warehouse process is a long process with the custom, with a selection process, which means that they can refuse this fiscal warehouse acceptance. And also you have to pay cautions to hold and to send flowers. Today, for the people that work into the CBD industry, and I don't think there is a lot here in this conference, but I have to put 280,000 euro in a bank account only to store 100 kilo and send them every month. Only for this. The price of this 100 kilo is lower than the price of this caution. I don't pay the caution, I put it into a bank account. But the cherry on the cake is that cannabis is an industry that is a bit sensible, sometimes stigmatized, but tobacco is really an industry, it's a no-go zone for all of the bank. So in terms of banking, since we are considered as a tobacco product, it's even more difficult than when we were considered as potpourri or hemp flowers. Today we need this fiscal warehouse, we need to pay caution, we need to pay the taxes upfront. It's require a lot of liquidity, and of course it will take some player out of the market. We had 200 shops by the end of 2018. Today we have maybe 25 in Belgium. All of them disappeared. It's simple, they used to buy flour from 0.5 euro a kilo to 2.5, 3 euro a kilo, selling it at a nice price, 500% of margins. Today they have between 10 and 20% of margin because of the tobacco legislation. So the whole industry has changed a lot since 2019. The product today, as it's considered as a tobacco product, is distributed in every tobacco shop in Belgium, which means I can find CBD flower at a supermarket, Carrefour. I can find CBD flower on the highway in a gas station. I can find hemp flower in a night shop. I can find hemp CBD flower where I find tobacco. And in Belgium, tobacco is very easy to sell. You need to pay 60 euro, and in 1 week you can sell tobacco in your shop. It's not the same case for every country, and we will talk about it a bit afterwards. Fiscal stamp, still part of this tobacco legislation. But thanks to this, at least one positive point, we have a good communication with the customs. They now know what is the taxation of this product. It's a high taxation. They know how to import. And fiscal warehouses are controlled by the custom and police on a regular basis. So, as an example, I have been stuck with around 200 kilo of flour packed in a truck. When it's packed, it takes a lot of time. I was in a highway on the direction to my fiscal warehouse. I decided to have a coffee next to the highway, and I've been controlled by police. It was 1 year ago, but we were into this industry. In 10 minutes, it was over. In 10 minutes, I was into the highway with my flour on the direction to my fiscal warehouse. I doubt we have this situation in any other country of Europe that don't have this legislation. Why? Because when we were controlled, police was stressed. We have 250 kilo of cannabis. They are drug traffickers. We have the best case of the year. And then soon we say, no. Please call the custom. We have a fiscal warehouse. Our product is taxed as a tobacco product. It's a legal product. Custom arrived 5 minutes later, 2 signing. Have a good day, sir. Everything was clear. So a very good point of this industry is at least that things are clear. The industry is certain on the long term. I know that I will be able to sell my flour tomorrow, after tomorrow. I can have a long-term vision, and this is thanks to this tobacco taxation. It has many negative points, and we will see it at the end. And so we have now the 3 different states that Belgium went through. The first one was a chaos. no clear legislation, unclear situation, pot-pourri, non-consumable product, tea or other. The second one was, in my opinion, a very good model, a bit of protection into the cannabis analysis, registration to EU Commission platform. It was okay, 21% of taxation, CBD shop can sell it, website can sell it, and negative point communication is blocked. And then we have this new model with a lot of taxation. And what is interesting is to compare this situation with other countries of Europe. As an information, Belgium launched this tobacco legislation the 11th of April. By the end of 2019, Luxembourg did exactly the same legislation. It's easy. They just said, look at the Belgian legislation. So the Luxembourg legislation just reports you to the Belgian model. And 2021, Poland did the same, or 20. I don't want to make a mistake here. So we have 3 countries of Europe. I know Switzerland was not far from this model, saying that dry hemp flower as our tobacco product. And then we have the rest of Europe with different legislation. It's not an harmonized industry of Europe. It means that I have a pouch that is legal in Belgium. I don't know if it will be legal in Italy. I don't know if it will be legal in Germany. I don't know if it will be legal in another country of Europe. So what I thought interesting is to compare at the moment the French market. I put German market because it's similar to the French market with regards to dry hemp flower only. I repeat it here. I'm not talking about CBD oil. I'm not talking about medical cannabis. I'm only talking about dry hemp flower or CBD flower, whatever the name we use. So France, pot-pourri, non-consumable product, low taxation, 621 also in France. People choose what they want. Bulk activity, completely legal. E-commerce, completely legal. Mainly CBD shop, but this is an exception because in France, product is already distributed in tobacco shop, even if it's not a herbal product for smoking. And I'm not talking about the taxation. I'm just saying an herbal product for smoking, which means say to your consumer that it's a smoking product. You can smoke it. But it's a gray and unclear situation. For the people that follow a bit the French markets, 31st December 2021, France has a good New Year surprise for the CBD market, and they forbid the commercialization of dry hemp flower, stating that it was completely illegal. Fortunately, the French market was structured enough to counter this, and 1 month later, this has been suspended. But when we say suspended, means that we need to have a return on these suspensions. And this return will arrive in the coming months. That's why I thought it's interesting to compare the French market with the Belgian one, because many people are speculating today thinking, is France going to adapt the same model as Belgium? And what could it lead if France does so? Because the French market is completely different than the Belgian market, and I will talk about it. As we know now, Belgian herbal product for smoking, taxed as another tobacco product, high taxation, fiscal stamp, binding warehouse, but product is available a bit everywhere. CBD shop and tobacco channels in general. It's a clear long-term situation. So the French market is really different because to sell tobacco in France is much more difficult than to sell tobacco in Belgium. In France, they have license that has been created after World War I to give work to the women. That was the initiative of the PPA, so-called PPA in France. And in order to sell tobacco, you need to buy this license. You cannot, for instance, decide to create a new shop that doesn't exist and say, I will sell tobacco in this shop. And a license is very costly. A license goes from 50,000 to sometimes 1 million euro. In Belgium, it's 60 euro, 7 days. So nothing to do. And why I think it's important? Because in Belgium, we let the opportunity to CBD shop, vape shop, specialized shop to still work with dry hemp flower. And why is it important? Because they are the people with the knowledge. They are the people that launch this industry that will talk with the end consumer and help him a bit more than a simple tobacco shop that will have your product next to hundreds of them. But on the same times, dry hemp flower are a tobacco substitute or a cannabis substitute, so there is not a lot of things to say to the end consumer. And knowing this, we know that the EU market will soon change. Country will adapt new legislation because on the long term, it's not understandable to have an unclear gray situation, to have shops selling at 6%, other at 21%, people selling it as a non-consumable product, while we know everyone consumes that product. I want now to have a view on how the end customer is affected, because this is the most important. He is the user. What did change for him since this new legislation? And the end consumer, to be honest, he is the loser of the whole history. Why? Because he has some positive point. Now, product can be found in every tobacco shop, also CBD shop. So, for instance, I can find CBD at every corner in my neighborhood. I go 2 streets from my house, I have CBD. I go 3 streets on the right, I have CBD. Before, I had to do 2 kilometers to go to a specialized shop. So the end consumer find this product everywhere. The product, of course, is less stable. Why? Because it's a tobacco product. It's a smoking product, it's a tobacco substitute, it's a cannabis substitute. You smoke it, you have no effect. It's not bad, it just have another taste. So why would it be bad? People were stigmatized because cannabis is bad. Yes?
Sorry, I missed the very start of your presentation because I thought the previous presentation was the end. But is your product in Belgium a substitute of tobacco?
It's sold as. The product we sell is the same as every CBD shop in Europe. My product, the product I sell is not different, it's hemp flower. It's just that in the packaging, it's sold as an herbal product for smoking, which means you will have the warning, smoking kills, written in big on it. And you will be able to talk with the end consumer and tell him this is a tobacco substitute because it has no nicotine. You want to stop nicotine? Smoke CBD hemp. Yes, tobacco product in terms of taxation. Herbal product for smoking, that's his category of product. But normally, herbal product for smoking is taxed at 21% of VAT. And this is the subtlety of the Belgian model, is to say it's a herbal product for smoking, but we will tax it as another tobacco product, which is not fair at the end, because the taxation into the tobacco is normally depending on the fact that it's harmful for the health. We have no nicotine, it can be vaporized, it's at least less harmful than a cigarette. At least. I don't say it's good because smoking is not good. Combustion is not good. That's another topic. Product is less stable and the price is equal or higher. So price started by being higher at the beginning, then the CBD industry crashed for people that follow it. The price went down crazily. But if I compare the average price per gram of the Belgian market and the French market, the Belgium is much higher, much, much higher. So the end consumer, it's not nice for him, because if he wants to smoke regularly, he will not be able to pay 20 euro for 2 grams constantly. Product can be smoked, that's a good point. Finally, it's clear, it's transparent, there is no lies, it's not a potpourri, it's not a non-consumable product. So some people that were afraid to take this product, now they are taking it because they see it in the tobacco shop. Before, they didn't want to go in a CBD shop because they were afraid of being seen entering into a cannabis shop. Maybe a friend of mine will see me entering in a cannabis shop. There is still this stigma. And so for this, it's a good point. No other use accepted. That's Belgium. Please smoke the flower. Don't use it as a tea. Don't eat it. Just smoke it. So we have no other use for CBD. And if you want even more precisely, we cannot even sell CBD oil as a consumable product as in some country of Europe. So this is not good for the end consumer. Another point is the communication. Since it's a tobacco product, we cannot communicate. I cannot do any promotion of any product. So I cannot say anything on my product. I cannot say the THC content. I cannot say the CBD content. Even the word CBD is forbidden. So in my product, I only write cannabis. It's the only accepted terms. CBD forbidden. And this is strange. I cannot put the lab analysis because it's like cigarettes. Before on the cigarette, you had nicotine level on the cigarette packs. Today, you don't have it anymore because it's a promotion of product. This cigarette is less harmful or better than another one. So the end consumer, he lost all information because the website on internet, they are closing, CBD shop are closing, advertisement, promotion, simple explication is forbidden. He's just selling a product as the tobacco shop. He doesn't know what he buy. And another point is product is not safer. This is a bit a shame, and it's a story I had with the health ministry in Belgium. For the people that know a bit the CBD industry, when you cut the plant, most of the time is above 0.2. To go to 0.2, there is a process called a wash down process that can be very bad. And depending on how it's done, you have leftover on the flower. We decide to talk to the health ministry. We said, listen, naturally the flower, they are 0.5, 0.4, 0.6, and you need a wash down process to do it. Some people will use gas, some other will use ethanol, and you have leftover. Why when I am registering my tobacco product into the EU Commission platform for tobacco products, do I have only to give the THC content? It's the only information they do care about. So I have a lab analysis of THC content, the rest they don't care. And the answer when I talk about residual things into the flowers from the responsible of health ministry in Belgium is smoking kills. If you want to put mercury in your flower, I don't mind. So the end consumer, he just know he will smoke 0.2. Between us, 0.2 is not better than 0.5. But that's legal. But I would say at least put a heavy metal analysis, some level accepted in the product, nothing. Smoking kills, no control, nothing. You can send an old product with moisture into it. That's not a product. A problem is written smoking kills. So in my opinion, the end consumer is a loser in this story because he doesn't have a lot of positive points except that he can smoke. He knows that he can smoke it and he can find it everywhere. Product is taboo, yes. Not the most important point. So this was what I wanted to explain you today to see how this translation has been done in Belgium, how it affected first the CBD shop that disappeared, second of all the end consumer today, how he is positioned in Belgium, and to see with the other model of Europe what could happen. I strictly believe, if you want my point of view, that a lot of countries will follow this legislation. They have 50% of taxation. If we look at what they got this year, it's crazy. And it's paid up front. You don't sell it, it's okay, they got the money. And then as you need caution, you need fiscal warehouse, it clean a bit the market. Because the people that want to do quick, fast business, not thinking too much about the rest, they will soon go out because it's long, boring administrative process. So this is the industry I'm working today. I'm not selling tobacco. I will never sell tobacco, but I'm considered as a tobacco manufacturer, a tobacco distributor. And my client today distribute tobacco. I mostly sell to tobacco distributor instead of CBD shop. And this is a transition we got in Belgium since 2019. That's it. I don't know if you have any question.